Something big may be developing behind the scenes in Washington, and it could directly affect millions of Americans who are already feeling squeezed by rising prices and everyday expenses. Welcome back to SSI and SSDI Alerts, where we break down the latest updates that matter most to your benefits, your income, and your financial stability. Right now, lawmakers are facing intense pressure to move forward with another large financial relief package. Discussions suggest they must show real progress before the end of this month if they want a realistic path toward passing anything by late spring or early summer. For families struggling to keep up with rising costs, this timeline feels critical. Across the country, the cost of living continues to rise. Groceries, rent, utilities, healthcare, and transportation are all demanding a larger share of household budgets. For many Americans, wages and fixed incomes simply are not keeping pace. As a result, frustration is growing, and that frustration is becoming harder for leaders in Washington to ignore. At the center of this conversation is the possibility of another major reconciliation bill. This type of legislation allows lawmakers to advance large financial measures with fewer procedural roadblocks. Because of that, reconciliation bills are often used for tax changes, spending packages, and sometimes direct financial relief. However, the opportunity to use this process does not last forever. Election season is approaching quickly. Once campaigns fully take over, meaningful legislative action often slows or stops altogether. That is why many analysts believe the next few months may represent the final window to pass substantial economic support before political priorities shift elsewhere. One issue dominating these discussions is affordability. That single word has become the defining theme of the 2026 economic conversation. Leaders are talking more openly about the reality that millions of people are struggling to afford basic necessities. When affordability becomes the headline issue, it usually means pressure has reached a breaking point. This growing concern has led to renewed attention on the idea of direct payments. For months now, a potential $2,000 payment has been mentioned in various discussions, interviews, and policy conversations. While nothing has been formally guaranteed, the topic continues to resurface, signaling that it remains on the table. If another reconciliation bill moves forward, lawmakers would have the technical ability to include a payment in the form of a rebate, dividend, or stimulus-style check. That said, it is important to stay realistic. Until official language is released, no amount, timing, or eligibility criteria can be considered final. Still, the fact that direct payments are being discussed again highlights how serious the affordability challenge has become. Governments typically do not revisit these tools unless economic pressure is widespread and persistent, and that pressure is clearly being felt right now. Public sentiment plays a major role here. People are not just worried anymore, they are increasingly frustrated. Many feel they are doing everything right, working hard, budgeting carefully, cutting unnecessary expenses, yet still falling behind. That frustration builds over time, and leaders are beginning to feel it. Economic data is adding fuel to the fire. Recent inflation figures, particularly at the wholesale level, suggest that higher costs may continue working their way down to consumers. When businesses face rising costs, those increases often show up later in everyday prices. This keeps affordability front and center in national discussions. If a new package is introduced, details will matter. Income limits, eligibility rules, dependent qualifications, and distribution timing will all determine who benefits and how much relief is provided. These are the fine points that turn policy ideas into real-world support or limit their impact. It is also important to remember that no single bill can solve every financial challenge. Even meaningful relief is often temporary. Long-term stability usually requires a combination of policy changes, economic improvement, and personal financial planning. Still, for many households, short-term relief can make a critical difference. The coming weeks will be closely watched. Lawmakers have signaled that they need to see significant progress by the end of this month. If momentum builds, confidence may increase. If delays continue, frustration could grow even stronger. For millions of Americans, this is not an abstract policy debate. It affects daily life, paying bills, affording medication, keeping food on the table, and planning for the future. When affordability slips out of reach, stress rises quickly. During times like these, it can also be helpful to review existing support options. Healthcare coverage choices, prescription assistance programs, and community resources may offer savings that are already available. Small adjustments can sometimes lead to meaningful financial breathing room. As always, speculation should be separated from confirmation. Real updates come from official proposals, legislative text, and verified announcements, not rumors. Staying informed without assuming outcomes is the best way to navigate uncertain moments like this. The broader truth is clear. Affordability is not a passing concern. It is shaping economic conversations across the country and influencing decisions at the highest levels. Whether direct payments become part of the solution or not, pressure for action is not going away. Here at SSI and SSDI Alerts, our goal is to keep you informed with clear, accurate updates so you can make decisions based on facts, not fear. As new information becomes available, we will continue breaking it down in a way that is easy to understand and relevant to your situation. Thank you for spending your time with SSI and SSDI Alerts. If you find this information helpful, stay connected, stay informed, and continue looking out for one another. The weeks ahead could be important, and we will be here to follow every development with you. Take care, stay safe, and I look forward to reading your thoughts and experiences as this story continues to unfold.